Hey everybody, welcome back. Doing a top 10 for you, October. In this video, because we had some scheduling conflicts, we're a little bit later this month. We had some opportunity to see the characters, but we're not going to have as many comments. It's more going to be checking out the graphics, seeing how we got there, and then some obvious comments for myself as far as these teams. Some of this stuff is pretty well known, but we wanted to give you the October update. So we'll jump in. We're going to do Raid Stars and Raid Stars and Reds today, or otherwise known as Red Stars and Raids today. We'll do the top 10. You'll see the rest of the graphic anyway, but what I'll actually talk about walk through will be those two categories. So let's just go jump in.
Bring me WolverThor!
So before I go into this graphic, I always want to give a giant shout out to Punk, who does the fantastic graphic work on these infographics that we do. I mention in all these videos now, I want to make sure that people know if you want to support these efforts, there's a dedicated tier in the Patreon for the infographic section. It's got Pyro. It goes specifically to Punk to help with these efforts. So if you like these infographics and you want to support it, please come join the Patreon specific to that tier. The link to that is in the description below. So top 10 here, as always, we've got the different columns where you'll see Red Star on the left-hand side, Raid, Arena, War, and then PvP. And it just goes from top to bottom, okay? Now, there were some people who thought that maybe there were somehow these things lined up a certain way. Look at it per column from top to bottom. What we do in the Red Stars section is we recommend these amount of stars, and it goes from highest to lowest, okay? And then we had some tiebreakers in there that if you want to see the numbers, I can show you that later. But essentially, top to bottom, and then each category separate, right? And again, you know, it's a really good work here by Punk. We just scroll through here and we'll check it out. So I'll go through this from bottom to top, and then I'll go over some comments. All right, so first up for the Red Stars, we've got Scream. She comes in at a recommendation of 5.3 reds. That means a couple of us had her at 5, some of us had her at 6. Same thing with Emma. She comes in at number 9, also with 5.3 recommendation. What we mean by that is, how do you get 5.3? What we're talking about here is the amount of stars or red stars that we recommend you promote these characters to. So these are characters worthy of promotion credits, not how good are they at reds with this many red stars, because obviously we'd want a bunch of these at 6 and 7s, but these are, you know what, I would promote this character to this many. So that's what we're talking. When you see 5.3, we had some at 5, some at 6. Same thing with Emma, also at 5.3. She's the 9th ranked toon in this list. 5.3 just ahead of Emma, so the tiebreaker went to Sinister. He's also at 5.3 red promotions. I personally have him high up, and those heals are pretty nice. Coming up just above Mr. Sinister at that 7 spot is Cole Obsidian. He's recommended at 5.7 red stars as far as the promotion credits go. He will hit like a beast once he gets up there, and it is really nice for all those paybacks if it's that high. Right above and winning the tiebreaker with Cole Obsidian is X23. She is one of the, I'd say, I don't want to say one woman wrecking crew because X-Force is pretty good, but man, can she carry a team. So if you got high reds on her, you're definitely lucky. Above her, entering the list for the first time, Dr. Octopus. He comes in at 5.7 recommended. So that means a couple of us had him at 6. One of us probably has him at 5 or somewhere around there. Now in War with those blocks, the high reds really help those heal and make that Sinister 6 more formidable. If you don't really have him that high, it's not really that scary of a team. You even see some new supernatural wins there. And then coming in at number 4, Taskmaster, straight across the board, 6 red promotion. This guy can single-handedly make a war attack a nightmare. He just can go off. Those 6 red stars absolutely help. Coming in at number 3, Black Bolt. He's still in the top 3, which is amazing. This guy's been around forever and is still doing good work. We recommend him at 6.7, so you've got 6 red stars on him for promotion. One of us is not saying 7, I wonder who. So he comes in at the 3 spot. Coming into number 2 spot is Thanos at 6.7 as well. He obviously won the tiebreaker with Black Bolt. And at the top spot, the first character that is unanimously suggested to 7 red star promos. So that's 250 gold promos is Symbiote Spider-Man. And as soon as you see the red rankings, it's obvious, it's clearly known why. And you already know why, but the symbiotes are rocking raids. And Symbiote Spider-Man is the cornerstone of that team, the foundation of that team. He is rocking it, doing really well, loving everything he's got to bring to the table. So he is our first unanimous 7 red star promotions. Congratulations, Symbiote Spider-Man. Now let's look at raid. Now this is the first time we've got symbiotes in the game, so these rankings have changed quite a bit. At the 10th spot, you've got Thanos. He was somebody I was using quite often in raids, and I will say I'm barely using him at all anymore, but he still makes the top 10. Just above him, one of his partners in crime, Ebony Maw, comes in at the 9th spot. Also someone I'm really not using anymore other than a Black Order hit, and really just the Nick Fury boss node in lane 4. Coming in at number 8, Yo-Yo. She's still got plenty of use in raids. The offense down, if she's landing it. Still a great character and probably going to be around for a long time, given her ability to land those offense downs. I could see her making a resurgence if at some point the symbiote team falls off a bit because you need those offense downs. We'll see how the next raids come about and how difficult they are. Coming in at number 7 is Black Bolt. Again, he's a character that everyone's used for a long time and can do some monster damage, especially when you've got offense up and a defense down. He is a great raid tune and still making the top 10. Coming in at number 6 is Emma Frost. I like her a lot. I'm currently using her on a team I call Ice Cream. I with a little I and then Scream. It's basically the symbiotes. And since she's ice cream, like Frost, frosty ice cream, cold, anyway, you get the idea. So I like her in that 5th spot with the symbiotes, but Anti-Venom's going to be here soon, so I probably won't be using her as much. But she is great for that speed reduction in the passive. Coming in at number 5 is Venom. I love his ability to spread negative debuffs with that ultimate ability block. The basic is very, very underrated, and I love it. And if you look at our infographic that we did for T4s and ISOs, we cover that pretty well considering how we can get some double hits in there. So coming in at number 4, we've got Scream. High damage. She's got a nice passive. Got some good abilities, put offense down, some disrupts. Really like her kit a lot. If you can get high red stars on her too, it absolutely helps. So she comes in as the number 4 raid team. Coming in at number 3, this is one of the first times we've actually had someone on the rankings without them being in the game, but Anti-Venom's kit, his stats, all that kind of thing, it looks good enough where you're kind of like, yeah, you know what, this guy's going to be really good on a really good team. So he comes in at number 3. That revive is clutch. Coming in at number 2, we've got Carnage. Love the passive. Got to get that speed up. Spread the debuffs around that ultimate right off the gate if you got it planned right. Which means, obviously, once again, Symbiote Spider-Man at number 1. This guy is becoming the king of the game, essentially. He's always been really good, and now he's really just like, okay, so you got him as the highest red star, you got him the highest raid. Okay, you know, it's a good thing. If this guy was in Arena and War dominating right now, that would be tough. This guy would just be an absolute must-have. Spend money if you got it on this guy because he's that great. So those are the raid rankings. Again, you know, top 1 through 10. The first time, if you notice, the top 5 is one team. One of those characters not being in the game yet, but we're absolutely expecting that guy to dominate given his kit. So, I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. There's going to be a link in the description below to the Discord. If you want to chat, if you think something we got mixed up, whether it's red stars and the raid rankings, if there's a team that you're using, you're like, no, or if you think Anti-Venom's not going to be that good, first we'll call you crazy. Then we'll say, okay, hold on a second. Just kidding. Let's hear you out, see what you got to say. So, anyway, I'll jump through the numbers now. So if you want to check out how we got to that, I'll run through that. If not, appreciate you guys stopping by. So let's check out some math. All right, so this is the spreadsheet that we use when we collaborate. Obviously, Cabra, Yeti, myself, kind of go through these numbers. Punk is the graphic genius behind what gets put together. So it's a nice little collaboration amongst the group here. And you can see that, let me get these above my head, that there is a lot at that 5.0 mark, right? So it goes all the way from, here, I'll flip to the other side for a second. Okay, that's better. So you can, this way you guys can see a little better here. So you can see from Venom all the way up to Baron Zemo, 13 to 25, we've all got tied at that 5 mark where it's, you know, either someone's got someone at a 4 with someone at a 6 in Crystal's case, or we've just got a bunch of people at 5. You know, Yo-Yo had a 6 for Yeti, Baron Zemo had a 6 for Yeti. But I had Baron Zemo and Yo-Yo both at 4, where I wouldn't necessarily use the promos on them, so that brought them down. Otherwise, they'd be in this group here tied for 5-3, which you can see is really, you know, scream through Emma Frost there. And then, like I mentioned, the tiebreakers, it was Emma Frost and then Scream. So Negasonic and Strife also in that kind of group there. And we were talking about Negasonic quite a bit. Yeti really likes her a lot with high red stars. But I also like her pretty high at red stars. I believe Cabra made the same comment. Personally, I just would not use the gold promo credits on her. I think I'm down under 100 now, and I haven't used that many. So unless you've got a ton of them, I wasn't necessarily going to promote her there. So I couldn't bring myself to do it. But she is a great character with red stars because that opening alt is huge. And then we had Sinister, like I mentioned, Sinister through X23 tied for that 5.7. All of us had a lot of 6s in there. Really, it was Yeti had Sinister at 5, and then I was the one causing all of these guys to stay at 5. X23, Doc Ock, and Cole Obsidian, all of them at 5. Truth is I might have to relook at that Cole Obsidian one because I think I even used gold promo credits on them. So I can't really use gold promo credits and say, well, wait a minute, I only use 5 on him. So I wouldn't be surprised if he creeps up on the list at some point, but I also did that when I was kind of in an arena, like, I'm getting frustrated with, you know, how things are shifting around a little bit and difficult losing attacks was, I think I might have done that in a little angst there. So that's why I left it at 5. And then we had Taskmaster straight across the board, 666, the devil in them. Thanos and Black Bolt, I was the one who kept those guys at 6, like I mentioned or kind of hinted to. Thanos, because I might have done something in the last day or so, is going to end up being promoted to the second unanimous 7 red stars. And then, of course, we all have 7 across the board. So let me filter for the raid here, and I'll show you guys kind of how that shook out as well. Okay, so here you go with the raid. Basically, I mean, this one did not have as many tiebreakers. You can see Shuri and Ultron are just out of reach here at the 11 and 12 spot, with Thanos just creeping in just ahead of Shuri. You know, and then it was Maw at the bottom, and then Black Bolt and Yo-Yo were a little bit ahead of there. You know, I was the one who had Ebony Maw a little bit higher than both Yeti and Cabra. I had Thanos dropping quite a bit off. I was, you know, I used them for a while. I still use them on one node, but I was like, symbiotes, nah, I had Shuri higher and Ultron higher technically. But I still use them on my Ultron team. And then you got Black Bolt, you know, with Yeti having her at 6. Yo-Yo I had at 6 because I just think that offense down is nice, but they kind of go hand in hand. But then I had Black Bolt at 8. Venom, I really was the one who kept this guy from being straight up 5. I had him at 9. As much as I loved him, I just had Yo-Yo, Ebony Maw, Black Bolt ahead of him because I don't think a lot of other people that might not have the full symbiote team. So I had him a bit lower. Even though I love his kit, and I think it's critical to have that all spreading things around. Emma Frost, I had her really high. Yeti had her a little bit lower at 8. Cabra at 6. We had Scream across the board as number 4. And actually, the symbiotes are straight across the board, 1, 2, 3, 4. So it was Symbiote Spider-Man at 1, Carnage 2, Anti-Venom 3, Scream at 4. I was the one who screwed up Venom being at the 5 spot because I had Emma Frost, Yo-Yo, Ebony Maw, and Black Bolt ahead of them. So that's on me, right? So pretty good, you know, list here. You know, and again, they fall off pretty significantly once you really get past Minerva. Hela and Phoenix get to 15, and then after that, it's don't even think about it. But those were the top 10 raid tunes. Again, we had some scheduling conflicts this month where we couldn't really get through the comments. So sorry we're not presenting those to you this month. I wanted to go through the math, at least show you where our thoughts and where our, you know, who was doing what. So that was this portion of it. Hope these infographics are really helping you. Again, shout out to the Patreon tier. Help support Punk if you desire, if you really enjoy these infographics. We've got Discord links in the description below. Come chat with us. Let us know your thoughts, where we're right, wrong, indifferent, whatever. Or just come chat, say hey. We always appreciate that. Hammer down on that like button, click the notification bell, subscription button, whatever else. Share with your alliance mates, all the goodness. And until next time, I hope you have a wonderful day.